Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going way better than fantastic. And your journey to self-betterment is going way better than fantastic as well. Today I want to talk about something very important. A news story that I'm sorry to say made my cartoon blood boil. And I got quite angry when I came across this news story. But sadly, this type of news story is way more common than what many people want to admit. And it's the reason why it made my cartoon blood boil. Because though we know that narcissistic abuse and evil behavior is both found in men and women alike, we have a system where it's often joked about. You have to literally prove the mother of your child, if you are the father, is just as evil as the devil himself. And even then it's not a sure thing you will be able to save your child and get custody of them. Now saying this doesn't mean that women are the victim of narcissistic men at the same rate. Because I believe good decent women are abused and harmed by narcissistically abusive men at the same rate. But how narcissists men and women get into relationships and how they have relationships have similar ties. But they have some differences. And those differences are based on the social norms of where they live. If the country where they live says the man can do no wrong no matter what, and he has all of the rights no matter what, you will see narcissistically abusive men abuse and misuse this societal norm to their advantage. And if you live in a place where women are believed no matter what, and they are given every benefit of the doubt no matter what, the narcissistically abusive women will exploit and misuse this social norm to their advantage, to abuse the men they are with, and will take control of the children and ruin their life. Look. In the West, society is crumbling. Literally crumbling. And what are the two main things that are likely making this happen? Well, in my humble cartoon opinion, number one is the constant effort by the puppet masters to remove God from the hearts and minds and thoughts of the people. And secondly, is putting the children in the hands of as many abusive evil narcissist mothers as they can. And we are seeing the effects on society. Yet, no one can call it out and say what truly is happening. At least those that are popular in mainstream society won't say such things. Because if such a message were to gain steam, abuse would be seen as a two-way street. Meaning it can happen at both the hands of a man and at the hands of a woman. And just because a woman holds the title mother doesn't mean she isn't evil, wicked, and downright dangerous. Well, here's another example right here. Kendra Long's 9-year-old son found a bag with illegal substances in them under his mother's bed, let's just say, and locked himself in the restroom and called his father. His father, who, you guessed it, didn't have custody of his son. Yet his drug addict, alleged drug dealer mother did. Someone make that make sense. Well, the father told his son to stay put and to keep the door locked. As the mother noticed what was happening and was trying to get her son to open the door, the father called the police. The police came to the door. The father instructed his son to exit the restroom and hand the bag of illegal substances to the police and walk straight out of the door to safety. Then Kendra Long started to blame her boyfriend, who comes by and states she will give his name and information to the police. Now let's say that is the truth. She's bringing a drug dealer and user around her son? But again, she had custody and the father didn't. And here's the thing. There have been numerous, and I mean numerous, checkups on this woman over and over again, by CPS and other agencies as well. And they all came back saying they couldn't find anything. Meaning, this woman's home is otherwise clean. She speaks really well. She appears to be the type to hold it together and appears to not be a drug addict at all. This made me think about the video I made a few days ago, where I talked about Christina Applegate searching for what happened to her father's parents. And in the court documents, her grandmother, her father's mother, she claimed that her husband, Christina's grandfather, was abusive to her. And Christina's first knee-jerk reaction was to be angry at her grandfather. But then she read her grandfather's statements about the grandmother cheating on him and being in drunken stupors and acting abusive, to which Christina's grandmother in the documents denied. But towards the end of this show, Christina was given the death certificate, and it said that her grandmother, her father's mother, died at the age of 33 from tuberculosis and cirrhosis of the liver due to alcoholism. And you could see the look on Christina's face. She didn't say anything, but the look was like as if she just realized most of what she read that her grandmother had said quite possibly were all or some or mostly lies. And likely Kendra Long was able to do the same thing. And because she can look and appear to act not like a drug addict, and she can BS and act like she understands the concerns of the people coming out to check on her situation, she comes across as like she has her stuff together. Nothing to see here. And they move on. And this happens because we still live in a society where it's sad that no matter how awful a mother is to her children, their children better love her and treat her right because that is their mother. We've heard many of us growing up, you only have one mother. No matter if that mother is trying to ruin your life every single day, and even endangering your life, you are brainwashed to feel like you are a bad child for wanting nothing to do with her. But it doesn't stop there for Kendra Long. She was given all kinds of mild probation terms that she violated without seemingly getting into any trouble for getting caught with even more illegal substances. Finally, the father of this child was able to get custody of his son. But it took his son walking out holding a bag of illegal substances he found under his mother's bed, and handing them over to the police before any help for that young boy or justice for him was given. You see, the system makes too much money on pain. They make money on war. We know that. And they make money on the breakups of families and the destruction of their children that come from them. You see, if it were admitted that women can be evil too, the billions of dollars that flow through these many women organizations would start getting split up and given to men too. Then we would start to get real data and numbers on the books regarding abuse. And who's responsible for what? And this is something many of these women groups do not want. This is why every time there appears to be a chance to balance things out, what happens? These groups come out in full force to suppress and scare those involved, and make sure such a change doesn't happen. As many like the money they are getting, where others like the power they have in society. And for some they like and enjoy both. And this ties into dating and all issues that many are finding in the dating world these days, which I will talk about more later. But for the good ladies out there, and there are some decent God-fearing women out there, please know, the men, the wise and smart ones, have walked away. Because they know if they get tangled up with a demon like this woman, unless a miracle happens, like happened to this little boy, they know their child will likely be stuck in such a home where their lives are utterly ruined. And so-called mothers like this will be literally rewarded and held up by society in high regard for ruining their child's life. And the men know there is literally nothing they can do about it. They just have to sit back and watch helplessly. If we want to start to see relationships come back, there are a few things that need to happen. Is abolish the so-called sisterhood code. And the sisterhood code is even when you hear or see a woman in the wrong, you have to still side with her. Well, I have news for you. That so-called code is why we are in the situation we are in. If more women said, these narcissist witches don't speak for us, and call it out for what it is, and have these laws amended or done away with in some cases. You will start to see the good men start to be less afraid and scared to take a chance or having a biblical relationship with you. And have and raise a family. No matter how many of these monsters we see on the news. Just like the monster men out there. You still have show after show. Talking about women being better caregivers than men. More caring than men. And having more sensitivity than men. But one store after the next. You find these so-called mothers being anything but loving or caring or wanting to do the right things for their children. Well. All I can say is I'm glad this young boy is free and is with his father. And I pray for his healing. That's all I have today. I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.